Welcome back to Kids in the Kitchen. This is our fifth and final lesson in the Cooking and Nutrition Education series. Last week, we learned about dairy and how it is important for building strength in our bones and teeth. We can find dairy in milk, yogurt, and cheese. We also learned how to be conscious of the sugar we get from beverages and how to rethink our drink. Did you share last week's recipe and information with your family or friends? Today we will cook, clean, and eat together. We will talk about breakfast and the importance of physical activity. We will learn how to cook simple and healthy meals. And just like last class, we will also clean up after ourselves and leave the kitchen as we found it. Please feel free to pause the video at any time to think, discuss, or if you just need more time during activities. Do you eat breakfast on a regular basis? Why do you think we're talking about breakfast if it isn't one of the My Plate food groups? Who prepares your breakfast? What do you eat for breakfast on school days? What do you eat for breakfast on the weekends? Do you eat something different for breakfast on holidays? What is your favorite breakfast? Think about how you feel when you eat breakfast versus when you don't. What does the word breakfast mean? Breakfast means break the fast. Breakfast gets your body ready for the day. When you sleep at night, your body is busy working to rebuild and repair. It uses its energy reserves and needs you to eat something healthy when you wake up. What do you have to do in the morning that requires food as fuel? If you're going to school or summer camp, you will need food to fuel you for learning and playing. Breakfast is brain food. It gives us energy for the day and lets us concentrate, work, and be active. It also prevents tummy grumbles. Have you ever been sitting in class at a sports game or even the movies and your stomach won't stop making noise and announcing to everyone that you're hungry? Eating breakfast has been proven to improve memory, alertness, and learning. Students who eat breakfast do better on tests and even get sick less often. Think about what the biggest barriers that you face that prevent you from eating breakfast. What can you do to overcome these barriers? There are some ways you can fit breakfast into your morning. Eat breakfast at school, make something the night before, wake up 10 minutes earlier, or use leftovers from the day before. It's important to make sure our breakfast is balanced with healthy foods. You could try something new. Even though we think of a sandwich as a lunch food, it can also make a healthy breakfast. Have leftovers for lunch or dinner from the day before. For example, I had tacos for dinner last night, and this morning I made a taco for breakfast and added an egg to my leftover veggies and taco meat. This is a good way to sneak in veggies to try to work towards your high five of fruits and vegetables. Include fruit and a source of dairy. Try not to have a very sugary breakfast. Why do you think that we would want to avoid or limit breakfast with a lot of sugar? We talked about sugar in our whole grains class and in our dairy class. Too much sugar causes energy to spike and then crash. It causes us to crave more sugar and can ultimately lead to weight gain and cavities. How can we tell how much sugar we're getting from our food? We can check the nutrition facts label. What can you do to enjoy your cereal or oatmeal if you're used to a high sugar breakfast? You can add fruit, peanut butter, or cinnamon. Cinnamon is actually known to decrease your cravings for sugar. We mentioned before how breakfast should be balanced and how you can incorporate all the food groups. We have learned a lot about My Plate over the past few lessons. Could anyone name all the food groups on My Plate? Very good. Remember, it is important to eat from all 5 food groups every single day. Always fill your plate with a variety of different foods and aim for 3 different food groups at each meal. How many food groups are on this plate? 3. How many food groups are on this plate? 2. How many food groups are on this plate? 2. How many food groups are on this plate? 5. Now, I want you to take a paper plate and some markers and draw a balanced breakfast. Be sure to include a variety of different food groups. Keep in mind the tips we talked about to reduce sugar intake, but still make it tasty. Pause the video and resume when you are finished. Eating well-balanced meals is important for our health, but we should also be physically active for at least 1 hour every day. Using this chart, spell out your names following the exercise prompts that go along with each letter of the alphabet. Pause the video and resume when you are finished. Let's look at what we'll be cooking up today. We will be making orange oatmeal pancakes. This recipe serves 6, 2 pancakes per serving. The ingredients we will need are half a cup of all-purpose flour, half a cup of whole wheat flour, half a cup of quick oats, a tablespoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 large egg, 3/4 cup orange juice, half a cup of non-fat or low-fat milk, and 2 tablespoons of canola oil. The cooking materials that we will need are 2 large bowls, a fork, a large skillet, measuring cups, measuring spoons, a rubber spatula, and non-stick cooking spray. The instructions are: in a large bowl, combine flours, oats, baking powder, and salt. Mix well. In another large bowl, crack the egg. Beat lightly with a fork. Add orange juice, milk, and canola oil to the egg. Coat the large skillet with non-stick cooking spray. Heat over medium-high heat. Add wet ingredients to dry ingredients. Stir just until dry ingredients are moistened. Do not overmix. Pour a 1/4 cup batter into the hot pan for each pancake. Adjust heat as needed to avoid burning. Flip the pancakes when bubbles appear on top of the batter and the edges are slightly browned, about 3 to 4 minutes. Cook until the second side is slightly browned, about 2 to 3 minutes more. Okay, now let's look at the recipe for the Hearty egg burritos. This recipe serves 4, 1 burrito per serving. The ingredients we will need are 3 green onions, 1 medium red or green bell pepper, 1 medium garlic clove, 2 ounces of low-fat cheddar cheese, 1 15.5 ounce can of black beans, a teaspoon of canola oil, 4 large eggs, 3/4 teaspoon ground cinnamon divided, a 1/4 teaspoon ground pepper, non-stick cooking spray, and 4 8-inch whole wheat flour tortillas. The cooking materials that we will need are a box grater, a can opener, a colander, a cutting board, fork, small bowl, measuring cups, measuring spoons, medium skillet, paper towel, plate, rubber spatula, and a sharp knife. The instructions are: rinse green onions and bell pepper, peel garlic clove, slice green onions, remove core and dice bell pepper, mince garlic, grate cheese. In a colander, drain and rinse beans. In a medium skillet over medium heat, heat oil. Add beans, green onions, bell pepper, and garlic. Cook until peppers are soft, about 3 minutes. Add half a teaspoon of ground cumin and black pepper. Transfer mixture to a plate. In a small bowl, crack eggs. Add remaining 1/4 teaspoon cumin. Beat mixture lightly with a fork. Wipe out skillet with a paper towel, coat with non-stick cooking spray, and heat at medium-low. Add egg mixture. Cook stirring occasionally until eggs are firm, about 3 to 5 minutes. Spoon egg mixture into the center of each tortilla, dividing evenly. Add beans and veggies and sprinkle cheese on top. Fold the tortilla over mixture and serve. Now that we have read our recipes, we are ready to begin our meal preparations. Remember, before we start cooking, we need to wash our hands, gather our ingredients, and review the recipe instructions. If you are in a classroom with other students, it may be best to split up the work. Discuss with the class how you're going to work together to prepare our meals. Don't forget to ask any adults in the room if you have any questions or need help. I'm going to show you a quick demonstration to guide you through your meal preparation. After the food demo, pause the video until you are all done cooking. Okay, so I have 2 large bowls here, and in the first large bowl, I'm going to mix my dry ingredients. I'm going to mix my white flour, whole wheat flour, oats, baking powder, and salt. Half a cup of regular flour, half a cup of whole wheat flour, half a cup of quick oats, a tablespoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt. If you're using a sea salt grinder and you're unable to measure it, just spin it about 3 times to get about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mix your dry ingredients well until blended and set this bowl aside. In another large bowl, crack your egg. Check to make sure you didn't get any shells in there, and then lightly beat your egg with a fork. Then we're going to add our orange juice, milk, and canola oil to the egg. Set the second bowl aside as well. If you're using a griddle, feel free to turn that on to medium-high heat. Alternatively, you can cook your pancakes in a large skillet and do the same. And spray your cooking surface with nonstick cooking spray. While that is heating up, add your wet ingredients to your dry ingredients. Stir your ingredients until it is well blended, but do not overmix. We're going to use our 1/4 cup measuring cup to mix out the batter and pour it onto our hot surface. Feel free to adjust the heat as needed as you go to avoid burning. Once you see the little bubbles appear on the tops of the pancakes, they'll be ready to flip. Once the pancakes have a golden brown edge and they've been on each side about 3 or 4 minutes, they should be all done. So we're going to transfer them to a plate. Okay, now let's look at the recipe for the Hearty egg burritos. Right. So now we're going to make our egg burritos. So the first thing I'm going to do is wash, rinse, and cut my green pepper, my scallions, and I'm also going to peel and mince my garlic. Just going to take these ends off, and I'm going to continue to chop up the green onions, also known as scallions. So we're just going to cut off the green parts of the green onion, and we're going to set aside the white ends. Fun fact, if you put these in a glass of water, they will regrow, and you can reuse them. Remove the core and dice my green bell pepper. So I've got my green onion, I've got my bell pepper. Now I'm going to peel and mince my garlic. Grate cheese. Next, I'm going to open my can of black beans and I'm going to pour them into the colander, drain them, and rinse them. Now I'm going to add my canola oil to a medium skillet, and I'm going to set my skillet temperature to medium-high heat. Once your oil starts to heat up, you're going to add your beans, our peppers, green onions, and garlic into the skillet. We're going to cook this for about 3 minutes until you notice that the peppers and everything starts to get soft. Once your green peppers are starting to get soft, we can add our spices. So we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of our ground cumin, and 1/2 teaspoon of our black pepper. If you're using a pepper grinder such as I am, you can just twist it 3 times. Mix that all together, and then transfer your veggie mixture onto a plate. In a small bowl, we're going to crack our eggs. Scoop out any shells that you might have accidentally cracked in there. I like to use the eggshell to do that. I'm going to add my remaining 1/4 teaspoon of cumin to the eggs, and I'm going to beat the mixture lightly with a fork. Using a paper towel, I'm going to wipe out my skillet that I used for the veggies. And then I'm going to coat my skillet with nonstick cooking spray. And I'm going to heat my skillet to medium-low heat. I'm going to add my egg mixture to the pan once it's heated up. As my eggs are cooking, I'm going to stir it occasionally. So we're going to keep stirring the eggs until they're firm. It might take about 3 to 5 minutes or so. Once your eggs are done, we're going to split the eggs into 4s for each burrito. And then we're going to add a scoop of the egg, as well as some of the vegetables, sprinkle of cheese, and fold it up. What did everyone think of today's recipes? What would you do differently if you made this recipe at home? What did we do to make these recipes healthier? Our pancakes recipe used half whole grains, and we used orange juice to sweeten them instead of sugar. Our egg burritos included vegetables, dairies, whole grains, and protein. Do you think you will eat breakfast every day? Some key takeaways from our lesson on breakfast include the importance of eating breakfast each and every day to give us energy and brain power. We should make our breakfast healthy and balanced. Every day we should strive to eat from all 5 food groups. Healthy eating is important, but so is physical activity. Aim for 1 hour or 60 minutes of exercise daily. We learned a lot about My Plate and what it means to eat healthy over the course of the past 5 lessons. We learned about fruits and vegetables. Fill half your plate with fruits and vegetables to keep your body healthy and prevent illness. Grains. Make half of your daily grains whole grains to give you long-lasting energy. Protein. Vary your protein intake to include all different sources of plants and animals to build and repair your body. Dairy. Include 3 sources of dairy each day for strengthening bones and teeth. Eating breakfast every day gives you fuel for the day. Limit unhealthy fats, added sugar, and added salt. Exercise for an hour each day. Please take a few minutes to complete the Kids in the Kitchen post-test evaluation. Thank you for joining our Kids in the Kitchen course brought to you by FeedMore Western New York. I hope that you learned a lot about healthy eating and enjoyed cooking up nutritious meals.